Welcome to the Belated Tech Channel's 47th edition of the Space and Tech History Rewind. We are reviewing the milestones that occurred on each day in the week of May 3rd through May 9th in space exploration, science, and technology. May 3rd, 1375 BC. The oldest recorded eclipse occurred on this date, according to one plausible interpretation of a date inscribed on a clay tablet retrieved from the ancient city of Ugarit, which was located near the borders of the Bronze Age Hittite Empire. Ugarit's ruins are located in modern-day Syria. This date is one of two plausible dates usually cited from the record, though March 5th, 1223 BC is the more favored date by most recent authors on the subject. By the 8th century BC, the Babylonians were keeping a systematic record of solar eclipses, and possibly by this time they may have been able to apply numerological rules to make fairly accurate predictions of the occurrence of solar eclipses. The first total solar eclipse reliably recorded by the Chinese occurred on June 4th, 180 BC. May 4th, 1995. German electronics company Escom AG paid $10 million for the rights to the name, patents, and intellectual property of Commodore International on this date. A pioneer in the personal computer industry, Commodore halted production in 1994 and declared bankruptcy. We covered Commodore in episode 1 and encourage viewers to watch that video to learn more. Escom wanted to build and sell the Amiga computer, which is still arguably the product for which Commodore is best known. They lasted a year before themselves going bankrupt and liquidating. Commodore's trademarks passed through the hands of various brand aggregators and trolls, but the bulk of Commodore's patent portfolio was bought by US PC maker Gateway 2000 in 1997. Gateway was bought by the Taiwanese PC maker Acer in 2007, which as of the date of this video still holds Commodore's intellectual property. The rights to the Amiga OS are currently held by several companies, and is currently published by a Belgian company called Hyperion Entertainment. May 5th, 1945, the Soviet Second Belarusian Front of the Red Army overran Germany's Peenemünde rocket research facility on the country's Baltic coast on this date. The Soviets found little more than abandoned and wrecked buildings and the gruesome remains of the nearby concentration camp. The facility had been fully evacuated by the SS and the German Army 2 years earlier, after a deadly bombing raid by the British Air Force. Although the Soviets were able to round up a number of unrelated German scientists and engineers, the bulk of Peenemünde's remaining staff surrendered to the US Army and were shipped back to the States with much of the research group's equipment and more than 100 V-2 rockets. We covered this event in milestones 52 and 79. May 6, 1937. At 7:25 p.m. on this date, the German dirigible Hindenburg burst into flames and collapsed into wreckage while landing at the Naval Air Station at Lakehurst, New Jersey. On board were 61 crew and 36 passengers, 36 of which died. Captain Ernst Lehmann survived the crash, but died the next day. He is said to have muttered, quote, "I can't understand it." The cause remains the subject of debate, even today. The landing approach seemed normal when suddenly a tongue of flame appeared near the stern. Fire spread rapidly through the 7 million cubic feet of hydrogen that filled the balloon. The Hindenburg was designed to use helium, but the US controlled the majority of the world's reserves of helium as a strategic military asset, and Germany was not permitted to acquire it. Within a few seconds, the Zeppelin exploded in a huge ball of fire. The ship fell tail first with flames shooting out of the nose. It crumpled to the ground 32 seconds after the flame was first spotted. The disaster is often considered the beginning of the end of the dirigible era. May 7th, 1992. The Space Shuttle Endeavour blasted off on its maiden voyage from the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A on this date. The shuttle was a $2 billion replacement for the Challenger, which was destroyed during launch on the STS-51L mission in 1986. Endeavour's STS-49 mission included the first three-person spacewalk, which captured Intelsat V1, a private communications satellite, for repair and reboost. The 4.5-ton Intelsat 6 satellite had been stranded in an unusable orbit since it was launched in March of 1990. After capture, it was equipped with a new perigee kick motor. When released, the satellite reached an operational geosynchronous orbit. Endeavour's crew comprised of Commander Daniel Brandenstein, pilot Kevin Chilton, mission specialist Pierre Thuot, Catherine Thornton, Richard Hyeb, Thomas Akers, and Bruce Melnick. May 8, 1886, Coca-Cola was first sold to the public at the soda fountain in Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta, Georgia on this date. It was invented by pharmacist John Pemberton, who mixed it in a 30-gallon brass kettle hung over a backyard fire. Until 1905, the drink, marketed as a brain and nerve tonic, contained extracts of cocaine as well as the caffeine-rich cola nut. Coca-Cola's name, using the two C's from its ingredients, was suggested by Pemberton's bookkeeper Frank Robinson, whose excellent penmanship provided the first scripted Coca-Cola letters as the famous logo. Asa Candler marketed Coke to the world after buying the company from Pemberton. We covered Coca-Cola and the famous cola formula in episode 21, so check it out. May 9th, 1893, the first motion picture exhibition was given by Thomas Edison in Brooklyn, New York, to an audience of 400 people on this date. The exhibition was held at the Department of Physics of the Brooklyn Institute in Brooklyn, New York, using Edison's kinetograph. An optical lantern projector showed moving images of a blacksmith and his two helpers passing a bottle and forging a piece of iron. Each film strip had 700 images, each image being shown for 1/92nd of a second. Motion pictures, also known as films or movies, started appearing during the 1870s, and a number of entrepreneurs created film shorts of a few seconds to a few minutes in duration as a novelty to be sold to the public. The processes used were laborious and expensive. Edison and an employee, William Dixon, created the first motion picture camera to increase the ease and reduce the cost of producing films in 1891, and built the first production studio in West Orange, New Jersey in 1893. While Edison produced films during the 1890s and early 1900s, they were usually recordings of various acts rather than a modern motion picture with a script, director, actors, cinematographer, and production staff. Studios that began to produce movies in this fashion appeared after 1900, and the first movie studio of the Hollywood era was Nestor Studios, which opened in 1911. Nestor eventually became Universal Pictures, which is owned in 2021 by Comcast. Before we get to the current event of the week, we wanted to see if you enjoyed this 47th episode of Belated Tech's The Space and Tech History Rewind. If so, click that like button. Did you agree with our choices, or are there other events that were better? Go ahead and share with us by dropping a comment below. And if you have suggestions for an event in the future, we'll take those too. We'll credit events we pick for future videos to those viewers that post them. We hope you have been enjoying our content. Have we earned your subscription to our channel? If yes, and you have not yet taken the opportunity as of yet to subscribe, please take a moment to do so now, and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. We want to continue delivering great content to you. You can always unsubscribe, and subscribing is free. On March 19th, 2021, the Facebook page of the French town of Ville-de-Biche, spelled with an E at the end, was taken down by the social media giant for violating its terms of service. The town contacted Facebook to complain, but it was ignored for almost a month. They were forced to create another Facebook page with a different name in the interim. The town contacted the French government, which is generally unamused by the overreach of US social media companies, and the issue quickly escalated into a public embarrassment for Facebook. The company restored the original page of the town, and the president of French Facebook called the town's mayor to apologize. It turns out that this isn't the first time Facebook has removed the page of a town with a French language name based on the social network's English-based language algorithm. Nearby Rohrbach-le-Biche had its page taken down by Facebook and had similarly been unsuccessful in getting the company's attention in the matter. They renamed their page Ville de Rohrbach to get around the problem. No word on whether Facebook has restored their page, as it was originally listed. Links to some of our most recent episodes can be found in the description section below. You can peruse our entire 250 plus video library by looking at our playlists, which conveniently sort videos by subject. We announce all new videos on our microblogging accounts, as well as in the community feed for this channel. Want to know how to navigate our channel content? We refer to retrotech and innovation documentary segments as episodes. Coverage of current events in space exploration, science, and technology are labeled as shorts. Space and tech history are documented in an anthology called Milestones. And gameplay recordings can be discovered on the BELATED Tech gaming channel in videos called walkthroughs and side missions. Stay connected by occasionally checking our Instagram feed, where we post content from our upcoming episodes and from episodes past that you may have missed. And finally, join us on our Facebook and Minds pages, where we cover current news and events related to channel content. Thanks for watching.